So often we're focused on the outcome. I'll feel better when, but being present helps you feel better now. And that energy compounds, especially as a leader. When you're present with your team, with your clients, with your community, people feel that. They feel seen, heard, and held. Hello and welcome to Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. I'm Erin Hines, your darn good business coach, here to help you break the rules, trust your instincts, and own your brilliance unapologetically. In this space, we blend the power of human design with real-world business strategy so you can ditch the shoulds, embrace your true self, and create a life and career that lights you up every single day. Ready to rebel, rise, and redefine success on your terms? Let's dive into today's episode. Hello. Welcome back to Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. As I have mentioned last episode, I have been feeling messy and overwhelmed lately. Life could be a lot sometimes, and I've been trying to give myself grace and compassion in trusting that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and it's all part of the journey as a rise. I have been doing a lot, so I need to give myself credit for that. And I say all this because I recently started a daily practice I want to tell you about that has changed my life. So in today's episode, it's going to be a little personal, a little practical, and super powerful, because we're talking about something that honestly doesn't get enough credit in the business world, if mentioned at all, and that is presence. And I'm not talking about the overused, just stay in the moment way of presence. I'm talking about the real, grounded, nervous system soothing, business shifting way of presence that allows you to actually move the needle without burning out. Because I know if you're like me, you're ambitious, you've got big ideas and a big heart. And sometimes that comes with a lot of pressure to get it right, keep it moving, and stay ahead of the game. But here's the truth. The antidote to pressure and overwhelm isn't another planner or productivity hack. It's presence. You've probably heard the phrase, your presence is a present. I never gave that much thought. I thought it was cute. But it wasn't until recently that I realized how true that really is. When you're present, you stop leaking your energy. You stop future tripping about what might happen. You stop overthinking everything from your morning routine to your new product launch. And instead, you start seeing clearly. You start hearing your intuition again. You start to feel energized because you're not draining yourself by over-processing every thought and fear. I have been here, and it is a struggle. But by practicing being present, it grounds you. And from that grounded state, you could actually move with purpose and peace. So let me take you back to what I experienced. There was a time when I thought being successful meant thinking 5 steps ahead. As a leader, you need to know exactly what's going to happen. But that is a huge lie. I was glued to my to-do list, always planning, strategizing, trying to predict every possible outcome. I believed if I didn't stay on, I'd fall behind. So I rarely allowed myself to slow down. But the problem with that is it left me exhausted all the time. Always being on is exhausting. And not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I wasn't sleeping well. I felt disconnected from my work. I kept chasing this imaginary finish line thinking, once I get there, I'll finally feel good. But, spoiler alert, I'd get there and feel flat because I hadn't actually been present on the journey. I'd always been racing through. It wasn't until I started practicing presence, like putting my phone down, sitting in the sun for the sake of sitting in the sun, feeling the wind in my hair, tuning into my breath, or going on a walk without podcast or distractions. That is when I realized how disconnected I had been. Being present is now my secret weapon. What I learned was half the time when we feel overwhelmed, it's not because we're doing too much. It's because we're holding too much. Even in those times where I cleared my schedule, making space so I didn't constantly have stuff to do, I still felt overwhelmed and pressure because I was holding on and feeling responsible for so much. Trying to mentally juggle 1,000 things. Trying to energetically plug into everyone else's needs. I was emotionally drained trying to prove I was enough. That kind of pressure keeps you in this survival mode. But when you're present, you actually see what's necessary and what's not. You start to feel what your body needs. When you're present, you notice when your energy dips. You can actually respond to life instead of just reacting to it constantly. So if you've been waking up already feeling behind, I want you to try something. Pause and ask yourself, what's actually mine to hold on to right now? Where could I slow down, even for just 5 minutes, and just be? Presence is what helps you move from pressure to peace. Another reason why presence is so powerful is that it helps you to build self-trust. When you start to follow through on your non-negotiables, those little promises to yourself, you start to show your nervous system that you're safe to follow through. As a leader, it's not just about doing everything. It's about doing what matters the most and doing it with intention. Presence helps you choose that one priority to focus on. It helps you stop spiraling into the what ifs and instead ask, what do I want right now that supports who I want to become? So often we're focused on the outcome. I'll feel better when. But being present helps you feel better now. And that energy compounds, especially as a leader. When you're present with your team, with your clients, with your community, people feel that. They feel seen, heard, and held. In this chaotic world where most people are distracted, overwhelmed, and constantly looking at what's next, your presence becomes magnetic. You being present makes you feel calmer, and people gravitate towards grounded energy. They trust it. Think about it. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who is fully with you? Not on their phone, not half listening, but fully present. How did that make you feel? Now imagine you being that person for your clients and community. You being present, calm, grounded. That's what builds trust. It creates intimacy. It invites a deeper conversation and better results. As a leader, your presence is one of the most powerful tools you have. And that's why it's so underrated. As a leader, you're so caught up in do, go. You forget to just be present in the moment, where you're at, and what is currently in front of you. And don't get me wrong, it is not always easy to stay present. There's fears, there's distractions, there's employees constantly wanting something, there's old stories, old beliefs, and there's a future you're worried about. But one of the biggest things that used to keep me from being present was thinking something like, if I slow down, everything will fall apart. But what I realized was that being busy didn't make me a better coach or business owner. It just made me more anxious. Being so busy all the time had my nervous system on this fight or flight. Go. It did nothing for me. I did have success. I have clients. I am helping people. But physically, being anxious all the time was not benefiting me. And sometimes we avoid this presence because it forces us to feel, to see what we've been avoiding, to admit what's not working or that you messed up. And being present sometimes makes you confront those moments of fear and discomfort. But here's the thing. Whatever you're trying to avoid will not go away. It will just keep getting louder and louder. You can't shift what you don't witness. Until you become present and acknowledge, become aware of what you're trying to avoid, consciously aware of what you're trying to avoid, it will never go away. Being present is what brings awareness. And awareness is the first step to creating change, to creating lasting change, which will allow you to have a sustainable business where you love being there every day. And being present is a big part of embodying your human design. Because when you know your strategy and authority, it's like you have a built-in roadmap to get you back to the present moment. Your human design can tell you exactly what to do to be grounded, calm, and present. So let me break this down for you. If you don't know your human design, I have a free human design chart generator, which I'll leave as a link below. So if you're a generator or manifesting generator, presence helps you feel into your sacral, that yes or no. You can't feel your truth if you're future tripping. You need to be present in your body to hear that gut response. That gut response is always your truth in what is right for you. Projectors. Presence helps you notice the invitations and recognitions that are coming your way. If you're constantly doing, you might miss what's already trying to land. So presence helps you notice what's already right in front of you. Manifestors, presence helps you stay connected to your impulses, to initiate from a place of power, not force or fear. And reflectors, presence helps you track your energy and environment. You need space to feel your truth, and that only happens when you slow down and observe. No matter what your human design type is, when you are present, when you follow how you're designed, everything flows better. Your energy just naturally bubbles up and you're able to make a bigger impact. So here are a few simple rituals I personally use to return to presence. First, it might seem simple, but a gratitude check-in. I have found it's almost impossible to feel anxious and grateful at the same time. So every night, I list 3 things I am grateful for. And studies have shown that when you're anxious, it triggers that fight or flight response. And then while you're in gratitude, it activates that rest and digest, which allows you to feel more peace. So when you slow down and be present, you're able to see all the wonderful things happening around you and be more grateful. I like doing this at night before bedtime because it helps me turn off my racing mind and be grateful for everything that came my way today. And that, of course, allows me to have a more peaceful night's sleep. Next, I like to call this the 5 senses grounding. It is very simple. Sit outside, alone, no phone. And I know this could be very difficult, and it was very difficult for me at first because I would often notice my mind wandering, thinking about work, and it was hard to stay present sitting by myself. So as a tip to help you stay present in the moment and not let your mind wander, try tapping into your 5 senses. Notice and ask yourself, what do I hear? And verbally name out 5 things that you hear. I hear a bird. I hear a door close. I hear a car driving by. I hear my own breathing. Then I want you to ask, what do you see? And list out 5 things that you see. Then ask, what do I smell? And say 5 things that you smell. Then what do I feel? Say 5 things that you feel. Then ask, what do I taste? And list out 5 things that you taste. By doing this, it gets you out of your mind and into the present moment, tapping into your senses so you could get back into your body. And when you're back in your body, it brings safety and calm to you. This ritual alone has done wonders on my nervous system. And just try 5 minutes. I now do 20 minutes just sitting there, and it feels so good. But start small, meet yourself where you're at, and don't shame yourself if you find your mind wandering. Just tap back into your 5 senses in what you're hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling, and taste. Next is time blocking with intention. Now, yes, I know in past episodes I've talked about time blocking for the sake of making sure you have that focus work to complete tasks. But I also want you to time block time to do nothing. Time for thinking, time for movement, time for rest. Those moments where you're seemingly doing nothing are those times that you're able to feel into your body and live in the moment. And sometimes see the answer that's just been right in front of you. It gives you space to slow down and tap back in to the present moment. And it could be simple things that you block time off. You could do that 5 senses grounding that I just mentioned. You could block off time to make sure you do your gratitude. You could block off time to do a walk. What I'm getting at is I want you to block off time for those things that don't have an expected outcome. Do them for the sake of doing them without an alternative motive. Another part of time blocking is your non-negotiables. I brought these up before, and I really encourage you to pick just 1 to 2 things a day that refill your cup and make them a non-negotiable. You have to do them every day. Maybe that's journaling, maybe that's movement, maybe it's just drinking your coffee in silence. Taking time, no matter what, for those moments to be present is so key to refilling your cup and making sure you have enough energy. And my biggest tip is limit consumption. Be mindful of how much content you're consuming. We often scroll to avoid discomfort, but try replacing one scroll session with a walk without your phone, or maybe just 3 minutes sitting in silence. It could sound terrifying. What if you miss something? What if someone needs me? But it's going to feel so good once you do it. Someone could wait 3 minutes for you to give them a call back. It's not the end of the world if they wait 3 minutes. It's so life-changing when you practice consuming less. I can't tell you how much it has helped my anxiety and my creativity to literally sit in silence instead of just mindlessly scrolling. Giving your mind and your brain a break to do nothing, in a sense, is so powerful. So please give that a try, even though it might sound terrifying to just be alone with your thoughts. Because remember, presence isn't passive. It's a choice. It's a practice. It's a way of being. And being present allows you to tap back into who you are so you can be more of who you're meant to be. So let me leave you with this. Have you ever reached a goal and felt meh? You thought it would feel amazing, and it did feel great. For like 30 seconds, and then it felt fleeting, like, okay, cool, now what? That's because you weren't present on the journey. You were chasing a feeling you thought you'd get after achieving that goal. I'll finally be happy. I'll finally feel successful. I'll finally feel less stressed once I get there. But here's the reality. It's not about the end goal. It's about creating that feeling as you go. It's about being happy in the moment as you're achieving the goal, not just once you achieve the goal. It's about who you're being as you move towards that goal. That is where deep satisfaction and fulfillment come from. When you're present, when you enjoy the ride, and you're celebrating those micro wins, you feel fulfilled now, not one day. And that's what makes reaching a goal actually feel meaningful. When you're enjoying the ride and being present in the moment step by step, not just when you reach the goal. So here's your reminder. You don't need to do more to feel successful. You don't need to hustle to prove you're worthy. You don't need to constantly look for what's next. Instead, I challenge you. What if you paused? What if you came back to this moment, to this present moment, to your breath, to your body, to your truth? What if you trusted that presence holds the path forward for you? Because it does. Presence is where inspiration lands, where decisions get clear, where your energy flows again, and where you feel good now. Presence is your magic. Presence is how you become an amazing, strong, impactful leader that everyone wants to follow. If this episode resonated with you, come say hi in the comments. I'd love to hear what landed most for you and what you're going to do this week to come back to the present moment. And if you try sitting outside and doing the 5 senses grounding, or going for a walk in silence, or just sitting in silence, let me know how it goes and what came up for you. And if you want help getting grounded in your human design strategy, grab my Intro to Human Design report. I'll leave the link below. Until next time, keep rebelling, keep rising. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. I hope you feel inspired to break free from those shoulds in your life and trust your inner compass as you create a life and business that truly lights you up. Remember, every day is a chance to rebel against the ordinary and rise into your authentic power. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebel who's ready to lead their lives unapologetically. Until next time, keep trusting your intuition, keep breaking the rules, and most importantly, keep rising.